What we're going to do is we're going to be solving and graphing inequalities. Last time we were just solving them and writing inequalities. This time we're going to be solving and graphing. Now, there's 4 different types of graphing. One is greater than, and a greater than is an open circle going to the right. Let's pick the number 0. If x is greater than 0, then we have 0 in the middle, and it's everything greater than 0. So 1, 2, and so on and so forth. So that's why it's going to the right, because all of those values are greater than 0. Now, greater than or equal to means that we actually include the 0 if we pick the number 0. So that's why it's filled in, because the number 0 is actually included, plus all the numbers that are greater than 0. Now, less than, once again, if we pick 0, what we want are all the values that are less than 0, like -1, -2, so on and so forth. So that's why we're going to the left, because those are all the values that are less than 0. And likewise, less than or equal to means that we actually include the 0, but it's all the values that are less than 0 that we include. So let's solve these. Our first one, we have 3x plus 4 is less than 7. We're going to subtract the 4, and we get 3x is less than 3. We divide it by 3, and we have x is less than 1. So on our number line, what we have is 1 is in the middle. We put an open circle because it does not include the 1, and it's all the values that are less than 1. Now for letter B, what we're going to do is distribute the -2 to each of the terms. So it becomes -2x plus 8 is less than 10. We're going to first subtract the 8, and we get -2x is less than 2. We divide by -2, and we get x. Remember, when we divide by a negative, we flip the inequality, and it becomes -1. So we have -1 is in the middle. It's an open circle because it's greater than values go to the right. Now, just to clarify why we flip the inequality, if we have two numbers, 2 and 10, we know that 10 is greater. If we divide each of these by -1, then this becomes a -2, the 10 becomes a -10. We now see that -2 is greater. Because the -2 is greater, the inequality actually flips. So whenever we multiply or divide by a negative, the values actually change, so that's why we have to change the inequality. Now, just to clarify, this does not happen with adding or subtracting. Let's use the same example. 10 is greater than 2. If I subtract the 2, I get 0 and 8. 8 is still greater than 0, so the inequality doesn't change. So just to clarify, we always switch the inequality when we multiply or divide by a negative. Now, looking at letter C, we're going to first distribute the 6 to each of the terms. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 6 times 2 is 12. Then we have -4 greater than or equal to 2x plus 10. We're going to combine the like terms. 4x minus 16 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 10. I'm going to subtract the 2x. 2x minus 16 is greater than or equal to 10. I'm going to add the 16, and that gives me 2x is greater than or equal to 26. When I divide it by 2, I get x is greater than or equal to 13. So that right there is my answer. I'm going to put the 13 in the middle. I put a closed circle because it actually includes it. That's what the line underneath means. And greater than means I go to the right, all the values that are larger than 13. Okay, pause the video and try D and E on your own. Looking at letter D, we distribute the 2, and we get 2x minus 14 is greater than 4x plus 1. I'm going to subtract the 4x. For inequalities, it's really nice to have the x on the left-hand side. And we have -2x minus 14 is greater than 1. I'm going to add the 14. and that gives me negative 2x is greater than 15. I divide it by negative 2, and remember when you divide by a negative, what happens is the inequality switches, so I have x is less than negative 15 over 2. Now, even though it's a fraction, it doesn't change anything. We still put the negative 15 over 2 in the middle. We put an open circle. Since this is less than, it's going to go to the left. Now, for letter E, we're going to distribute the negative to each of the terms. So we have 3x minus x plus 7 is less than or equal to 9. I distribute the 4 to each of the terms. So negative 12 and then plus 4x. Next thing I'm going to do is add the like terms. So this gives me a 2x plus 7. And 9 minus 12 is negative 3 plus 4x. Once again, I like the x's on one side, on the left side, so I'm going to subtract the 4x. And that gives me negative 2x plus 7 is less than or equal to negative 3. I'm going to subtract the 7. And I get negative 2x is less than or equal to negative 10. I'm going to divide by negative 2. And when I do that, the inequality switches to greater than, and that gives me a positive 5. So I put 5 in the middle. I put a closed circle because it includes the 5. And greater than is everything to the right of 5.